Welcome to some One Piece action. So we have another variant of an Issho deck. I guess, we'll just keep tinkering and playing around with the Issho leader. I think he's very versatile. There's different ways to make this leader. I want to say you can stay true to the whole Navy aspect and rely on recycling a KO ability using that 4-drop Kobe. There's a new Garp that might work out, right? I think he's 5 and he moves Dawn. I gotta look at him again to see what he does. But I know he doesn't discard a card. That's the thing. So that saves options. That saves resources in hand. So you got a 4-drop Kobe. You got 5-drop discard Garp. You have the new Garp that doesn't discard. I gotta see what the cost is on that one. And I think I'm missing something. I think there's another card that you can keep on the board like that. I think I'm missing another card, but with that being said, you could. So in other words, the build like that allows you to not need or rely. And you can also use Brook, that 3-drop Brook like that. You swing, you KO, you restand over and over again. So that variant allows you to not need a surplus of KO cards, because you're constantly reusing the same KO card, so you don't need a surplus of KO cards. And this build is leaning on reusing cost reduction, so taking advantage of Laboon as a consistent -4, taking advantage of Kuzan as a consistent -4 because we get to restand them. So with that being said, I respect this, because the Toy Soldier, they're going to be able to make some combo plays. So it's like, let's just get that off the board. Yeah, Rob Lucci. Wouldn't be surprised if his hand's full of board removal. But so this variant is just that ability to constantly reuse a -4 cost reduction over and over again. So we got Kuzan, we got Laboon. We just, you get it already at this point. Now, the fun part about Issho is there's more that you can do. So like, if you want, you can make a variant where you use the 5-drop Smoker, the one that looks like TCG. You can use 5-drop Smoker and swing for banish, restand, swing for banish, restand, swing for banish, restand. You can just, I guess, any 5-drop that can get turned real gimmicky. You could just keep using those characters over and over again, and restand them to keep them safe from attacks, thanks to Issho's ability. Oh, they quit. Look at that hand. They're extremely top heavy. But, I wouldn't be surprised if things got real. We just could not let them set up. Respectfully, I think black decks, that's a good thing about the rotation when it eventually happens, because black decks can get real obnoxious with this board removal stuff. I'll be honest with you. They can get real obnoxious with board removal. So, but yeah, what you call it? We updated it, obviously adding the Sengoku, because Sengoku, recovers a card from the trash. And I guess the other version too, not only, we'll put Sengoku in it, but off the top of my head, I really think that Garp is 5. And if that Garp is 5, that might be another option. But I think it KOs a 1. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about it because I'm not sure. I just know it exists. I gotta read the card. Now we got damn near all our cost reduction in our hand. But I guess the good thing is you can say now we're guaranteed to draw more into our board removal. Just making sure you manage our Dawn efficiently. And Brook is toxic. On play and when attacking, so you have the ability to get the utmost value out of this card is absurd. We tried to do an Ivankov build using that card, that Karate Man, because the Impel Down has an overlap of Revel Army cards. So it was like, maybe this might help you, because even though it's like you could say an outdated strategy, but yeah, the whole Ivankov deck is more about just being able to get to that board state, which is you know, Ivankov summon something, Ivankov summon something, Ivankov summon something. But Ivankov is not strong enough, and I think now you might get like 2 abilities out of these double summon characters. Like either they the double summon option is wider, or they have an effect as well as being able to summon something else. But you know, you gotta power creep, right? I mean, well, granted, Ivankov does let you draw, but it's mechanically it's for this deck, so that draw option is not really impactful. As crazy as that sounds. Yeah, just too much of a deficit you have to play at with Ivankov. But I get it. I feel like I understand the whole gimmick, especially when you know what blue wants to do, is to be consistent. So the whole gimmick is just to be able to dump your hand and immediately like race and draw into stuff that you can that you need. It's all set play, but it's not efficient. That's the only problem. Such a disgusting combo. And there, at this point, nothing they could do. We can consistently do -10. So it doesn't really matter. We have consistent access to -10. We have Brook who could do -1. Okay, now he's gone. We have Laboon for -4, and we have leader ability for a -1. As long as Kuzan's on the board, it doesn't matter. That's the thing about Kuzan. I mean, Issho is a good boss card too. The 8-drop Issho, that is a good boss card as well. But Kuzan's really supposed to create an end game state for black decks. So it's like at this point, whatever you're top decking, you're gonna get an option to just take something off the board. He is a field card. It's just sad. I think he came out in just the wrong era. If he was to be like a new card right now, same ability, people would be more enticed on using him. But I think a lot of people just remember the old days of him being trash and not wanting to use him. That's how I feel. But I just like, now is the time more than ever to be able to incorporate him in black decks, because we have better KO options. We have more defensive options, so more blockers are available, more 2K counters are available, more events are available, you know. So it's not what it was back then. So Kuzan hits the board, he has a better chance of staying on the board. It used to be too easy. It was weird, right? All it was a simple, oh, I'm gonna play old Thomas, swing, or 2 old Thomas. That's all you needed was 2 old Thomas and swing, and all of a sudden this 10K 10 drop is just getting punched in the face. It was ridiculous. Should be the blocker. It's weird when it comes to Ivankov, I can say that, because one, the game state is not effective enough. I believe double attack is a comeback mechanic, so the only strategy I can say that might help effectively is not, tunnel visioning on life. That's like my theory. Just don't tunnel vision on life. Wait till you get Ivankov and Luffy, and then start going for the double attacks. Usually when things are that late in the game and resources are running thin, being able to do that much accumulative damage to the opponent a lot of times it doesn't matter how many cards they have in their hand. It's just like, okay, unless you got 3 blockers and some defensive events, you're probably not going to be able to make it past the next turn or two. But outside of that, yeah, it's tough to be able to pilot Ivankov, only because it's like that board state that you're looking for is not rewarding enough. Even if you can figure out how to make it consistent, that's where the problem lies. I feel like this should be relatively easy of a matchup, simply because Doflamingo, key components are just 4, so it's not really much of a high ceiling for us. Like, so if we have a Laboon on the board, or even Jack, literally 1 down on our leader and he KOs anything. Oh, that's kind of funny, because we have 3 drops. That's hilarious. That Jinbei hasn't been relevant since the 90s. That's interesting. Oh, because we're maxing out on our Dawn. Look at all that hand they have. But at this point, it doesn't matter. We have a system built in. They're in trouble. We should be... If you want to see, like, more Issho decks, but, like... I mean, obviously, the most efficient variants are either the black variants, the navy stuff. Either going the consistent cost reduction route, so the rest of the deck is filled with board removal, or going the board removal route where the other half of the deck is filled with cost reduction to complement the reusing of the board removal. But I think either or can give you strong efficiency, in my personal opinion. But I think there's a lot more available for this leader, like especially being real gimmicky with a 7k banish character that also guarantees you an active Dawn, so that way you can always restand. Yeah, there's a lot of gimmicks that you can have with Issho, so just feel free to be like, hey, let's see some other Issho type of stuff going on. I respect the use of the 1-drop blocker law. 1-drop blockers do have that value, in my opinion. And I respect the use of a defensive event. I ain't gonna lie to you. That blocker Garp is a really good card, a really strong card. It should be Laboon. You should be targeting Laboon. You should be targeting Laboon. He didn't target Laboon. This must be an old school Dofi player. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Looking at it, this must be an old school Dofi player. Because I'm just like, I just assumed he didn't know that Jack pumps his cost. I was like, he's taking too long. He must be trying to target Jack. All right, so that's a -5. And just a bunch of attacks. Oh, look, that's a newer card. So the deck is updated. At first I started genuinely thinking this was an old Dofi deck, but I guess they must have updated an old Dofi deck, or they feel like there's value in some of these cards, which once again I gotta go back to respecting, because I do think defensive events should be played, and I respect the use of a 1-drop blocker. Well, we could use Laboon offensively. We don't even need a cost reduction. You could just swing, 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 swing. If you really want to, you can KO Mihawk. I guess we're just doing this stuff for fun. Because you could have just did 1 down to leader minus 1, 1 cost to that board, swing for 6. Everything is still in range of Jack's 8 trigrams. Probably get rid of the Kobe, because you can always play the same Goku to recycle. Or not much recycle, but bring back from the trash. I feel like we're just playing with our food right now. Yeah, that whole play didn't make sense. That was just excessive. That whole play didn't make sense. Could just did 1 down on leader. Laboon swings on Mihawk. Leader swings on Mihawk. Even Kobe swings on Mihawk. If he chose to just try to keep protecting, and then Jack can just remove the next character and then just end your turn. You could have still had 2 blockers up. I mean, this is the opponent's opportunity to block. Oh, they got a card. Okay. Oh, wow. I'm surprised we're not going to use Jack. I figured use Jack, get rid of the blocker. Now you have 2 attacks. Oh, there we go. My dizzy self. I actually forgot about that law blocker for a second. Okay, that's called playing it safe. I guess playing a little too reckless that last turn is just like, you only got 1 life. It literally just takes them to have a board removing card, or just keep swinging that life. So now, yeah, you definitely have to take the character off the board. I mean, you're still in a winning position, but having 1 card in your hand and 1 life is wild risky. So you couldn't just leave anything on the board. Even though there wasn't much the opponent could have done, they were still better off just taking that last life instead of countering out. It was the last attack. Yeah, too bad. If they was able to just like dump 3 blockers on the board, then maybe. But we got access to too many attacks and too much board removal. I'll bounce the Kobe back. Or would it have been bad? I mean, whether it's an attack or it's an on-play remover, it felt like it didn't matter. Well, GG. Thanks for watching.